So before we begin this episode, do want to have a quick moment of silence and rest in peace to Takahashi Kazuki. He was the creator for Yu-Gi-Oh. He's a legend. Um, just want to give him a quick moment of silence. It is Sunday. It's episode 2 of Hardcore Casuals. Welcome back. Um, and also before we dive in, I did want to ask everyone, what was their favorite episodes or moments or just anything from Yu-Gi-Oh? I'm gonna start with you, Father Shimron.
Um, I would like to say the all-time meme, the fabulous meme. It should have been me, not him. It's not fair. That's my favorite one.
What about you, Anime?
Oh man, I can't say I remember much from the show growing up, though I did watch it. But all the memes, yes, that came forward, especially recently. I think my favorite one was a Team 4 star, JoJo in 6 minutes or something like that, where he faced Darby. He said he rolls his S with an R. He said the rules mean nothing to him, and he put down like two of a kind. And Jotaro responded. He said, "What was it? Oh, Exodia, the Forbidden One. It can't be." He just made that man disappear.
They was getting with a lot of crazy shit. I ain't gonna lie. What about you, Click? You got any favorite moments?
I'll be honest, I never actually watched the show.
Understandable.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was that kid.
No way, I was that
You're a
kid.
Bakugan guy. I see.
What's wrong with that? Hey, we're not gonna
Hey, I
slander
ain't dissing nothing.
Bakugan
I'm just
now.
saying, you usually watch one of the two. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon, Bakugan, and like something else I'm forgetting.
Beyblade
Sonic.
at the time, most likely, or
Oh, yeah,
Sonic
Beyblade.
X.
Uh,
Um, honestly, anytime Joey did the fucking meme face,
Yeah,
Joey
I got that picture on my phone. It's nasty.
yeah, so many curse photos, and it's like, you know what? That's every time I think about Yu-Gi-Oh, it's just straight to Joey. It's every goddamn time. But yeah, we have a lot to kind of get to today. I don't want to be too forceful, kind of overload anyone. So I do want to thank you guys for real for pulling up. I really, really do appreciate it. So before I continue, does anyone else have like any recommendations in gaming? Or just things I want to kind of briefly put
Pick
a
up
spotlight on?
DNF Duel.
Who?
DNF Duel. Pick it up.
Oh, yeah. That is the DNF duel is pretty fun. I played it online. I guess going against a bunch of laggy people. And I played Mortiswell a little bit. All I gotta say is that priest. I can't win him. He's the most annoying thing ever. And I was playing Ghostblade too. Yeah. I had range, but that hammer had range.
That's to say nothing of the wall that appears behind you.
Yep. Every time I got hit, wall. Full combos right there.
This man makes his own corner.
Literally.
Oh,
I remember I was sitting in the corner. Man's made a wall while he was in the corner, and I'm sitting there like, yo, and I just could not do anything about it. That was the most scariest part of my life.
that's scariest moment.
Bro, that's scary as hell. Man made a wall behind me, and I'm like, nigga, what? My ass got juggled.
I've been rocking with Grappler, man. I love figuring out him. Usually I hate Arc System Work grapplers that aren't part of their mainstream games, like Guilty Gear and Blaze Bloom, because they usually don't get what they need. But this man has everything in this. Plus frames, armor, mix-ups, anti-air grabs that he can do grounded. Like this anything you want in a grappler, this man has. And so I didn't see anything on the final boss outside of his trailer. And so I didn't know what he did or what his gimmick was. So the few matches I played online, I ran into one. He kept doing this very cheap move. It just kept hitting me in neutral from half screen. And he comboed off of it. And it killed me because it hit me 3 times. And so I was like, okay. And that man got the perfect. And I think 3 combos. And he rage quit after that.
Feels bad.
That was the highlight of my day.
Sounds like Wi-Fi warriors and rage quitters. I'm look into getting it hopefully soon. I know the price point isn't too too high, so it's not too intimidating. So I'm definitely gonna seek some eyes onto it.
I will say your mileage will vary depending on how used to those kind of games you are. Because knowing your tech and background of just blocking and waiting for spacing, you might have to readjust very hard on this game.
Sounds like a stressful, fun time.
It is. It
Yeah.
very much is. But when you see full screen shotgun blast back to back to back, yeah, you're gonna be wondering what the devs were on.
Ooh, that man grappler too. When somebody does like a full screen projectile, he can counter that, and they just like teleport right
I've
towards them.
done that. I've done that before.
It's the funniest thing ever. But that man Swiftmaster is like a combo god, and he can do big damage. But that motherfucker get touched once, he's like a fly.
Yeah.
That dude will get hurt. But all in all, the game's fun. I'm gonna try out Troubleshooter today. Actually, I was thinking about that.
Okay. Any other recommendations before we hit these topics?
Oh, Arcadegeddon. It's not too bad, honestly. It's not too bad. It's there. I literally play the game. It's a roguelike, somewhat, and I sit right there and just play. Well, it's not somewhat, it is roguelike. I play the games, just listen to music. It's pretty fun. I ain't gonna lie. That PvP mode is kind of janky, so I say don't touch it. Fuck that. Fuck that goddamn challenge for that shit. But other than that, pretty fun. I enjoy it. It's brainless shooting, and if you want to kick back, relax, listen to some music or album you've been listening to or been dying to hear, that's your game right there.
I've been seeing people play it, but I didn't know what it was.
It was just a roguelike. It's okay.
It's free this month, right? On PS Plus.
Yeah, free today on or this month on PS Plus with
Okay.
Man and Medan and damn, what else was free? That's all I can remember anyway.
I forgot the third game. There's something. It's something.
Hold on, let me see. I can look at this right now. Hurry the hell up though. Home.
What did he do?
Not gonna tell me. All right, man. And Crash Bandicoot 4 is about time. Crash Bandicoot 4, Man of Medan, and Arcadegeddon is free on PS Plus.
Those are solid.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Crash is on there.
Not that surprising. I feel like it's one of those like, oh, it's finally here. Yay, I can play it because I definitely wasn't going to buy it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the weird island to where I'm not like the biggest Crash fan. Like I understand what they did for Sony, but I'm just like, nah, it's cool.
You know,
Also,
go ahead.
My fault. Also, Killing Floor 2 is free on Epic Games, so if anybody want to go pick that up, Ancient Enemy. I haven't heard too much about Ancient Enemy. I know Killing Floor 2 it's kind of a brainless zombie game. It ain't too in depth.
Was that a pun?
Yes. And it's just it's fun. It's fun as well. Pretty brainless. You get to level up your character. Then you'll be able to do a bunch of shooting zombies and shit. But yeah, it's a wave-based game, and more waves the harder it gets. And if you feel like copping it, if you feel like being in the mood for some zombie shooting, free for you.
Free game is a free game. I always have my free games. I'm not even gonna play with it.
Yeah.
Let's get right to it.
Yes,
God of War Ragnarok.
You know, as soon as I saw Fenrir, my whole life changed. I sat right there and said, "Yeah, I'm in love." That boss fight is gonna be fire and annoying. I can tell.
The wolf?
That's just gonna be
I don't think he's gonna be a boss fight though, is he?
I don't know. We'll see. But if I have to guess, it'll probably be a little boss fight where you gotta befriend him and he'll let you pass. Other than that, I don't think if we're gonna kill that motherfucker, boy, I might have beat that ass.
So we did get a date. It is November 9th. So I know they got pre-orders going up already. I didn't seen the Ultimate Edition or whatever that has no physical CD. Whole different conversation in that rant. But
Waste of time that was.
I'm so on the fence. It's like it was like another franchise that I'm not mad at 2018. I love what they did, but because I'm so used to the OG God of War game style, I was just kind of like the whole cinematic style of the one for it just kind of trugged along for me. Like I just felt like I had to get from point A to point B. Of course, the combat was still fun, but I definitely got detached from the game like halfway through, and I'm looking forward to Ragnarok regardless. I just hope it's more of the same, which it might be. I'm gonna enjoy it, but I'm still just I'm on the fence of it. I don't think it's gonna be a day one for me. I might wait. I might wait.
Yeah, I'm
So
pretty much agreeing with you on that one. I remember I pre-ordered it, and man, look, I'm not a sports guy, but you would have thought that my team won a Super Bowl when it got award that game of the year. Man, I was jumping on my seat like, "There you go, Corey!" Patting my chest like, "There you go." Show them how it's done. You know. Well, I like that game. I really did. I don't know if the what's it one angle take holds up when you consider like the transition or what was it map transition when you're going from one area to another. Because even though it still keeps that angle, I feel like it kind of broke the immersion for me a little bit. So I think it fell apart as soon as that came into place. But I did like the story. I did like the combat. It was very challenging, but it was that kind of challenging that was still fair, except for with those witches that could put stuff on the ground that you could barely see.
oh
But
god,
it was that kind of game. Whereas, yes, it was an RPG and had RPG elements. You could still finesse your way through very high skill enemies just from pure skill of dodging and attacking correctly and parrying. Whereas most games, Ubisoft, sorry, something was stuck in my throat. If the character or enemy is like 2 levels above you, they just two tap you, without any sort of wiggle room or skill involved. So I do appreciate that element of it, as well as making difficulty a core aspect of that game. I was not expecting hard to be as hard as it was, man. It took me twice as long for it took me twice as long to get
got
through
my
the game.
difficulty.
Yeah.
No pride. So I'm putting this back to normal. Y'all got it.
Oh no, I was stubborn. I said, well, this is what I'm used to. This is what I'm gonna get. But I will say I'm not looking forward to the second game as much as I was the first. Mostly because I think it is just going to be more of the same. But those story beats and those surprise elements, kind of like how God of War kept a lot of his secrets in his back pocket until people played it. Like
Yep.
who was the stranger? I keep forgetting his name. The one who rocked Kratos at the start.
Boulder.
Yeah, Boulder. The fact that they kept him secret as a boss fight and just like a character who was really going to be story prominent, I think was one of the best things they could have did in marketing and gameplay related. Going through. So the fact that they're like giving us little bits and details, Thor hinted at in the first game, the giant wolf in this new trailer. I think the story elements and the surprises are definitely going to be there, but my excitement for the game isn't going to be as high because it's not like the return of God of War, kind of like it was when it was first announced.
Yeah.
Also, that announcement came out of nowhere. It just
It
kind of
did.
happened. Was I the only
It
one? I was
really
just
did.
like, they really just dropped this? Did I miss like a day to play or something?
Yeah, I was sitting right there chilling, and
Yo,
all of a sudden I just saw that, and I was like, oh, okay.
I low-key got salty. It's like, oh my god, that means it's more Sony stuff. I got too happy again.
They just dropped it. I was like, oh. Well, I know they're gonna
It's
drop
cool
something
though.
else before the game comes out, but I was just like, this
Oh
is
yeah.
it? Okay. This is
Literally, that was all me right there. I was like, okay.
How you feeling about Ragnarok? Click.
Definitely excited for it and shit like that. Yeah, I still haven't finished, this God of War, but yeah, it did look dope as shit.
I'm ready to see this thing on 4K. No cap. I'm ready for it. But at the same time, I don't know. Like a lot of the new Sony games are very cinematic, which it serves its purpose well. But at the same time, I'm just like I could really just want to take over half these cutscenes. Like I'm gonna get adjusted to it. I won't complain about it once it's here.
I think it balances out fairly, considering the fact that combat is so intense that once you're done, you're out of that moment. You kind of just want to take a break a little bit before you have to jump right back in.
Sometimes it's, I'm It's always you gotta have your breaks definitely in between combat sections. Other times though, it's like sometimes in the moment like I feel too badass and my adrenaline's still going up and it's like, oh wait, I need some more and it's like, oh nah, you gotta walk, talk to your child, solve a puzzle, keep walking again. so
Yeah.
so it's one of those.
A quick question:
Definitely looking forward to it. What's up?
that collector's edition you brought up earlier, the fact that it has no disc, is that exclusively for 5, or is that also for 4?
From what I have seen, they showed off two editions in the trailer.
Mhm.
Um,
I'll look it up too while we're talking.
and it seemed like it just covered for both editions. You just got to put in your code and you got to pick PS5 or PS4 edition.
Okay.
Well, it makes it weird if one of them, I think either one of them or both comes with a steel case. And it's like, why would you give people a steel case with no disc? That part throws me off every time I see it.
Well, I don't agree with that, but I do understand why they would do that. Because remember, at least for the PS5, right? There's two editions. You have the one with a disc and the one without it. So it wouldn't make sense to have a collector's edition where you get all this stuff, and a disc, and you don't have the game. If you don't have the disc reader, but also they don't want to just give the game away for free if they were to provide both. So I don't agree with the decision they made, but I understand how they possibly could have got to that conclusion.
Yeah, it's still weird. Trying to find some more info about the two different editions. Because I feel like they might go with the approach where it's like, oh, because you bought this, and if you are on your digital PS5, well, then you can select either PS4, PS5 version.
Is there a PS4, PS5 version?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
coming on PS4 as well, which is surprising to me how a lot of things are still kind of catered towards last generation consoles. It
yeah.
felt like
It seems like they know they're out of stock on PS5.
it's so weird though. I remember once the PS4 kind of came out, a lot of things from PS3
It just got
just kind of peaked
crashed.
out,
Yeah.
and it's just like I understand the PS4 was definitely a top seller, and there's not a lot of PS5s out here.
Well, you have to look at the hardware for it too. Apparently, especially at launch with the PS3, it was very hard to make games on that thing because of the way it was made. And so I could understand, even with people being more comfortable as the years went on making games on the 3, that once they started making games for one console, not trying to have to do both, to where eventually they just switched over entirely. Whereas with the 5, it was built off the structure of the 4. So even if things were up res and stuff to be able to make the most out of the 5 hardware, you could scale it back down for the 4 because it's so similar and it wouldn't be that much difference of work to get it compatible. So that and the fact that again, low stock.
Yep. And for what I have seen, yeah, you're gonna get a PS4 and 5 code once you get the. I'm not even gonna attempt to say it, but I'm gonna say the collector's edition. You're gonna get both codes. So, yeah,
That's just headache to read.
it is.
Oh, Jotner, I'm guessing. Jotner?
Let's go with that. I trust your I trust your lingo.
I know the J is silent. So it's like yo. Like it's like Jormungand. Can't say Jormungandr. Gotta pronounce it like with a U.
He is flexing his knowledge. I respect it. I love it.
Yeah.
I have been trying to avoid this conversation about 2K, but
Okay.
it's been like itching at my soul, especially this time of this last collector's edition. It's in the spots where it's like, okay, yes, I understand that. I guess it's valued more, and really, we're still, besides like these minor graphical updates and small gameplay tweaks, it's really just kind of like these prices should not be where it's at. So pretty much the situation with this upcoming 2K23, as we all know, Michael Jordan, who was number 23. So they have made two editions in his honor. We have the Michael Jordan edition, which is gonna be I want to say 99.99, and then the championship edition, it's gonna be 149.99. Now, in this particular fan base, they don't really buy physical games anymore. It's all digital. So there's the only incentive really now is you get like 100K VC, get some My Team credit, and then you might get, I think, like some like shoes or in-game stuff that really means nothing in the long run. So the biggest issue with this whole 149.99 thing is when you look at all the other sports games they've dropped, this is like the highest ever. And it's only digital. There's like no jersey attached, no poster. It's just all digital. And the only reason why it's this expensive is because they got a deal with the NBA to where you can now get League Pass for 1 year. And that's their excuse for raising the price this high. That's the only reason. It is literally the only reason.
That's wild, bro. That's wild.
And it's so weird. But oh, this is such a good reason to now get League Pass. Like it's 2-in-1. Like no, y'all are literally getting pissed on. They're calling it golden money. Like this. Like stop. There's no reason. It's so baffling. It's like, and what's even worse is for us PC people who like to mod our 2Ks later on in the year when the game gets really dead. Yet again, we are forced to play the last gen version. So we got the PS4 version and the Xbox One version on PCs because somehow they only optimized it for the next generation of games when I thought made I don't know. 2K has it. They just over time they've already been shady for the longest. But it's just becoming brain dead slowly but surely. And it's gonna sell well yet again. I already seen it in multiple videos, multiple Reddit threads. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's such a great idea. I can this blah 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 blah. Oh, it's for Jordan. Blah blah blah." Like it's bad. I don't want to call it dick eating, but it's been crazy the last few days. And even seeing people just being like, "Oh, who cares about the PC version? No one plays it anyways. There's no anti-cheat." Which is another thing that 2K won't acknowledge. They just refuse to do anything good. So I had to get it off my chest. I don't know how y'all feel about this scam of because there's League Pass, we're gonna charge y'all $154 for a patch and some new Ricky Cyber faces. I kind of want to hear y'all's thoughts on it.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain this League Pass to me.
Yeah, I'm buying the 140.
Wait, what? Run that back, Turbo?
I'm buying the 149 version.
Why?
Delete yourself.
No, hey, yo, chill.
About delete yourself for this podcast, of course. I ain't be like that.
Why are you? Why
I'm not gonna
would you
say
buy the one?
No.
Because I know it's gonna push your buttons.
That is the most. All right.
No way you gonna push man's buttons and not further push the button.
NBA League Pass. You know how the NFL has like that red pass thing or whatever? I don't know how the NFL works. Anyway, League Pass, you're able to watch like all 82 games when it's live on TV. You can pick your favorite team, watch all their games, all their post-game interviews, all the highlights. You also get access to like 90s championships, 80s championships, a lot of classic things. It's just NBA censored content that you're able to go just watch.
Okay.
I want to say it's like $14.99 a month for a certain package and $24.99 for like the tier up, and like for a year it's like $100 something. So that's what people are like, oh, it's a steal because we're getting the yearly pass through 2K. Which also it recurs to your credit card after you buy it. So make sure y'all do cancel your subscription beforehand. I just want to put that out there. So that's all League Pass is. It's just ways to watch more NBA for the NBA fans.
Man, look, I would never pay that much for any kind of game. You know, I told people like I felt bad that I bought The Witcher used because I one, I didn't support the developers, and two, I would have paid way more than base price of 60 for that game because it was worth it. But 150? Oh, I'm sorry, 149.99 plus tax. Like this is the same company that initially raised the price of new gen console games from 60 to 70.
Yep.
Like they are the leading people right in there next to Rockstar as far as trying their hardest to get money out of console consumers or PC gamers and console consumers and not giving you anything in return. You know, there's just no justification for that. Why League Pass? I could understand a fair argument being made for that, but how does that work exactly? Do you have to link, some kind of account to 2K, or does it go straight to through your
So,
PlayStation?
from what I've seen, is once you just get that code, you can just make an NBA account or NBA.com account and just link it that way. It's not tied through 2K itself. It's entity with NBA.com. So,
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
edition.
bro. Whole edition.
Oh, I
Third
forgot. Oh, my bad, Jay. Forgot to mention you get a Michael Jordan themed cart for $150. All right, go ahead, Jay. My bad.
Man, I'm sick of 2K, bro. Out of sight, out of mind. I stopped playing 2K for a reason. They're nothing but a money hungry ass company. I'm good. I don't want to. I don't. I'm sick of 2K. Every time somebody says something about 2K, is nothing good. It's never something positive.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so click because you wanted to press my buttons. How you just overall how you feeling about this next iteration of 2K?
Same shit, different day.
Same shit, different. I mean, on the bright side, guys, they're making us a new mode called the Jordan Challenge mode from 2K11. Repackaged as something new because that's all these sports games ever do. It's I guess honestly my biggest beef, but go ahead.
Like, go ahead.
I guess my biggest beef truly is seeing that people are calling this a great deal while also just kind of chastising the PC community because they decide to not make anti cheats, which I find to be straight bullshit though, because I remember 2K15 was able to have like the PS4 version, so it was already on next gen by a year later. So it's really crazy seeing that they're just like, yeah, nah, we're just gonna kind of push PC versions to the side again. It's I'm relatively tired. I already know I'm gonna be there later on this year. Like, all right, get this little promo code, buy it for the low. But I'm tired. I only got tired of hearing niggas talk about that shit. So, so let's talk about another shitty company under 2K, aka Rockstar. They be having one job. Um, as we all know, they fucked up on their trilogy, and somehow because of that, they have decided to. I don't want to say cancel, but they put GTA 4 and Red Dead Remasters on their back shelves because of how everyone reacted to the trilogy. I want to hear how y'all feel about that first before I get into it, because nah.
I'm gonna go ahead and start. There's no reason for you to sit right there and do that. You took the criticism. You should take the criticism and make it more a game more optimized, a game more solid, I guess. Literally, it was just if you're gonna sit right there and be scared to release some remasters just because of the trilogy you made, that just means I feel like you just haven't learned anything yet. Unless you're gonna go back to it, sure, that's cool. But you're gonna be focused on a bigger project, which really can come later if you're already like in development of the remaster of GTA 4 and Red Dead 1. You should just take that criticism that you got from the trilogy, put it into GTA 4 and Red Dead 1, and then take your time with it, and then just release it out to the public. I know motherfuckers gonna be sitting right there asking like, "Where's GTA 6?" I ain't asked all this. Where's GTA 6? It's like, bro, let him eat a dick. I'm trying to go back to the golden days, and not a buggy, laggy golden day where polygons are HD polygon. I feel like I'm playing the HD. What's that? Ah, fuck. I forgot what that game's called. It's like based off of Doom, but it was like more of a parody.
Quake? No, not Quake. Oh, Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem, yeah. So yeah, gotta love it. Gotta love people being scared to goddamn do remasters because their first remaster didn't go through as they thought. But I guess I can see where they're coming from. But at the same time, you can still polish it or something, get that out there, and then go back and get the money you get from these remasters, and then go back to the big project like GTA 6 or something, or I don't know, Red Dead 3, whatever the fuck they're doing at this point. They're just jacking each other's meat, coming up with stupid ideas. But other than that, it's whatever. At this point, I don't really care what Rockstar do. Motherfuckers making monthly subscriptions for a dead ass game. I hate it here.
Man.
Boy, let's not though. That's not part of the notes, Calvin. That's not part of the notes.
They just gonna keep milking niggas and
Oh
milking
man,
niggas.
I don't know what y'all was expecting. Like
I wasn't expecting
I
nothing.
truly feel bad for the people who just wanted an up-res version of the games they already loved. Because I don't think, right? I could be completely wrong about this, but I don't think they would have put any effort to really try to make any DLC or online or currency, for that game. It was just supposed to be up-res, upscaled game, repackaged and all that other stuff, right? But when you actually go and see how low effort that game was, like I think they had software that automatically up-res some things like the text, but it was so jank that they butchered a lot of the lettering to where some of that stuff was illegible. And then on top of that, when the game came out, you couldn't even buy the original versions on Steam anymore, or not Steam, whatever their Didn't they have their own?
They delisted everything from like each different service. They just took off all the originals.
But they
I
also
think they put
had
them
their
back up
own service
recently.
where they put all that stuff on to begin with.
Yeah,
Like they did a lot of things to try to keep control as far as over their product and making sure you bought the new thing. But when you look at that game, even with as low effort as it was, and how heavily criticized it was, and when you compare that to GTA, 5 money, it doesn't compare. You even look at Red Dead, and I'm not sure how well that game's doing as far as the online Red Dead 2, but it's not. When it was shown, it wasn't making nearly as much money as Grand Theft Auto 5. They pretty much it was a slow murder of that online. Like I haven't heard anything from that community, any DLC or updates. It's just one of those things where it's just like it came, they tried to support it, and it just kind of died off in the wind when no one was looking.
kind of.
Meanwhile, people are still crying out for zombie mode like the first game DLC. So, as far as Red Dead 1 remaster and GTA 4 remaster and all that other stuff, I think you guys probably should just emulate it. I know for people who are on console, that's not really an option, with maybe some exception of PS Now or whatever Xbox backwards compatibility. Like you're very limited as far as ways of doing it. But I think that just goes to show, appreciate what you have, hold on to it, and try to find different ways of re-experiencing it the best way possible, whether it be through emulation or just, like I said, Xbox backwards compatibility, or the old school way of just never getting rid of your consoles, like me. But
See that
you
no,
just,
go ahead.
you just really you can't leave anything up for these companies to just not mess with stuff. I think Nintendo, as good as a job as they do most of the time, when they eventually get to remastering some of their old stuff, they always change something that makes it less than the original. I think what was it, Majora's Mask, because the one people mostly go to, from changing items around to swimming mechanics, just simple stuff, or making some boss encounters very easy. It just take a lot of the nuance or simple joys of the game out of the game to where people see it as less than the original. So I don't really trust any company unless they're Blue Point with a remaster of any kind nowadays.
For example, goddamn TMNT Shredder's Revenge.
That's
That shit
Weird.
that's not a
fire.
that's not a remaster, is it? I thought that
I
was.
know it isn't. I don't
It's a
think it
new
is.
game. It's a new game.
It's literally a new game.
Yeah,
But hey, remaster my book. That shit fire. Take no.
yeah, I
I
definitely
am
will check
gonna
that out.
I'm gonna eventually end up playing Wonderful 101 as well because I've been looking at that remaster like the last few weeks, which I can get. Shout out to the terrible Sony Premium, but I guess to go back to when you said emulating these particular games, um, people, your best bets if you have Steam and a reliable computer, definitely buy those things. You can get them for the low. Because emulating those games in particular, they will blow your shit up if you don't have the right specs. So it's really rough to play those games again in like modern lenses. So that's why, because I know besides everyone like, hey, we need GTA 6. People were looking forward to a GTA 4 remaster for years. I'm not too familiar with the Red Dead reception, but I know for a fact GTA 4 people have begged for years. Like they just want something, and it's always like, oh no, here's a port. Here's more GTA 5 missions and DLC and stuff like that. So it's definitely hard to play those games again in a more reliable sense, unless you do own the original hardware or just have something really good, a good gaming rig to play those games again. So it definitely does suck to see. I'm always gonna say fuck Rockstar because they just kind of killed off. Not even kind of killed off. They just let Midnight Club die. So
I'm
you
sorry,
know,
but I never liked their games to begin with, if I'm being honest. I gave them fair shots, but I just couldn't get into them.
I don't even have a rebuttal for that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like I mainly, especially growing up, I wasn't like allowed to play a lot of Grand Theft Auto, but I was able to play Midnight Club. So it's like I do have a bond with that particular side of Rockstar. So and Bully, I played that later on in life as well. But yeah, I don't think I would go far to say I don't like any of the games because there's some special things they have done that I can respect. Well, did respect. They're on that thin ice at all times. It's where I'm just I don't have myself now. I don't have high expectations for whatever they bring. It's just always gonna be disappointing because it's like the more we kind of grow up and see how gaming's going, the more I see like developers and publishers are like, oh yeah, fuck our fan base. They're gonna buy whatever. Fuck our consumers. It's becoming a lot less consumer friendly from certain publishers and developers. Which brings me to the main topic, or I guess main topic A of the day. Before I go on though, Click, you have any chimes in for how you feel about Rockstar and them kind of saying fuck GTA 4 and Red Dead 1?
Yeah, I just want GTA 6.
Wild.
I'm not even looking forward to it anymore. Not even gonna lie. I'm just like whatever it comes. I don't know how they're gonna push the industry to the next step. They have done a lot of good things to push things forward, but they become a lot more leechers, and so.
And this is the same company that did horse poop physics.
It did.
And they're pushing things in the wrong direction, if you ask. It was like what? The genitals would change depending on the weather, and they would just poop sporadically. Like if that's the kind of level of detail and realism we're going for video games from Rockstar, they can have that, man. I'm good. That's the only thing I remember from what was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oof.
Let me tell you, that
You
game
gotta play that
was
story,
not fun.
baby.
Man, that story was. I was so sick of that story, and I was only halfway through it. You know. Let me tell you something about some Red Dead Redemption 2, man. Storytelling. It started like it ended. I'm gonna say that something went wrong. You got to go find somebody, help somebody. You bring
Hey,
it
this
back
is a
to
hot take
camp.
as fuck.
You do a few missions. You do a big job that's gonna, end the whole story and send everyone home happy. It gets botched. It goes wrong. Somebody dies. Dutch gives his motivational speech. Looks to Arthur like, "You're still with me." He's like, "Yeah, yeah," and all this other stuff. And the cycle repeats anew until there's no more people to kill. Like that's how
Like the
that's
last
how
of us
that
one
whole
to me.
story goes.
That's actually a sad thing. Damn. All right. I'm leaving
like,
you on that one.
Sounds like the last of us one to me.
I ain't got no rebuttal.
Yeah.
I ain't got no rebuttal.
Yeah, fuck Rockstar. But like I will say, it leads us to our next conversation. So, I've been looking at different lists in my free time of boredom. I always see like a top 5 games, top 10 developers, top 10 this and that. And I'm just like, let's spice this up. Let's talk about games we love or particularly like from developers and publishers we hate or despise or want nothing to do with. I'm gonna let you go first, Click.
Oh no, Click's not here.
Yes,
Oh no, he's not here.
yes.
This is every
LOL,
time
LOL. Yeah, I don't necessarily have a developer because I don't really pay too much attention into it. But Last of Us is always going to be a big cap.
That nigga said fuck Naughty Dog. You don't like Naughty Dog, bro?
I mean, they cool.
They alright.
Literally,
the Jack series, Uncharted 5, 7, and 21.
I mean, like I said, I don't really pay too much of it.
Man, look, don't get me started on Uncharted.
That's not really my concern. The concern on is just how the game plays.
Understandable. What about you, Poppy Shimron? What about you?
I hate when you say my name. What game? I would have to say EA. I would really have to say EA. Because them niggas not pushing Titanfall 3, man.
Preach.
That's all we want. That's literally what all the streets want is Titanfall 3. But I'm pretty sure every time Respawn's probably doing the right thing right now and bringing it up as much as they can so they can get like a green light for it. But EA want to be like, nah, worry about Apex. Because, as before when that man Zombie said, Apex is the biggest thing. And they're going to keep on pushing it and going to keep on focusing on something that gives them more money. So that's it. That's literally it. That sounds terrible, but I'm gonna keep going. One take hose. Anyway, this shit is ass. I'm so sick of it. I just want Titanfall 3. We're working on the first person campaign FPS. I don't care if they don't have multiplayer. I just want Titanfall 3.
So we want.
Hold on. I need that multiplayer now.
Okay, I ain't gonna lie. Multiplayer is pretty fire, but if it doesn't come with multiplayer, I take it. That story in Titanfall 2 was just as good. And I enjoyed my fellow BT, goddamn 170. I forgot his number. I think it's 7275.
It's called a nigga BT.
BT. We're gonna keep it a BT.
If you like the
We love
game so
BT.
much, I would recommend if you catch on a really good sale, Bright Memory. I think you would like the gameplay of that coming off of Titanfall.
Wasn't that the one that they showcased that only one person made?
Yeah, they finished a while ago.
Bright Memory Infinite is like the new update thingy. So
let me
That was the full game. The gameplay is solid once you get used to the controls, but it's a very short experience.
what about you, Anime? Unless you got more
Okay.
publishers
First
and
off,
devs, Jay.
like when it comes to what was it, Uncharted? I hate that gameplay, man. That's the only game I know where stealth does not work. Like you could go tactically. I don't know how it is in 4 because I never beat it, but like that's the only game up until like 1 through 3. You can go into an area, see a bunch of enemies, take them down one by one stealthily, not make a sound, and then suddenly towards the exit, there's 2 guys who you can't stealth who face you, and there's no way to get around them, and so you're forced to do a shootout. And so by the time you figure that out and you get into the shootout, you're surrounded because the mobs spawn all around you. You can't do nothing about it. I hated the
Some would
gameplay of it.
say, was there like any bricks around to make, or could you whistle and anything to distract them from moving from the front
No, I
door?
don't even think you could throw a brick at anybody.
Oof.
Hey, at least say what you want about Last of Us, but at least they got stealth right in that game. Like you can go through a whole area, whether you could you had it on lower difficulty to be able to see through walls, or you just were familiar with the layout. You can no shot take out a whole room if you knew what you were doing. Uncharted, you could try that, but there was always going to be like a shoot something moment. And if you tried going that first route, it was always going to screw you over in the end because you had nowhere to back up to once the enemy started flying in. And so after a while, I said, screw it, I just started shooting whatever. But the story would always lean you to be like, hey, be careful, let's take out a few guys, right? Like, they didn't actually expect you to do it, though. But as far as games I love from developers I hate, Overwatch comes to mind very easily.
Oh wow.
At first, I had nothing against Blizzard. I wasn't a fan. Kind of like Capcom before I realized what all they owned in their legacy before all the stuff came out. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what they were about. I was just discovering them. And Overwatch, I wanted to hate because everybody was hating on it, but then I played it and liked it and loved it. And then after a while, I fell off of it. And then all the stuff as far as what Blizzard was doing with their employees, especially with the women and all that other stuff, it's just like I cannot in good conscience buy anything from them, because it's still going on, and they're still doing everything to try to clear their name and say like this didn't happen, yada yada yada, and then they're announcing things left and right like they're like everything's good at their company. And I think another one, I don't like anything from EA for the most part, so they're not even on my radar.
Damn Titanfall.
Yeah, you're right.
Damn Mass Effect.
Here's the thing about Mass Effect.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
I'm gonna let you go right after this,
Go ahead, bro. Good.
But with Mass Effect, man, 1 through 3 was
I got a few.
but my favorite was still 1, just because it was a real RPG. As far as like building your character, and it had the cool gimmick of guns cooldown and stuff like that. They got rid of all of that, man. I was completely deflated. If it wasn't for that story, man, I probably wouldn't have kept up with it.
Oof. Understandable though. Understandable.
But yeah, Shinron.
Cyber Connect 2. I'm gonna say this right now.
Mhm.
Oh, Capcom too. I enjoy what they made and what they did. But for the love of fucking all that is holy, release a remaster or a re-release on PC for Onslaughter's Wrath. That's all I asked for. That is all I asked for. I don't care if we didn't have enough. I don't care if we had enough sales. I don't care if we had enough people who just like sat right there and just goddamn. You have a whole cult for that damn game. Please, bring it back. I love that game.
I'm gonna just push my chips for it. I went going all in. Put that man in next Marvel's Capcom game.
Please make him a base roster. The man's amazing. His story is amazing. He's such a combo heavy character. I'm pretty sure he'd be fire in every fighting game, almost every fighting game anyway. He's in.
So they probably nerf him and still be top tier.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh man.
My last company, and this is only by technicality because they didn't make the game. But remember when Sekiro came out and it was announced that Activision was publishing them?
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
I was
you brought up Overwatch though.
About that one. Oh yeah, no, this was all before no, that's not true. I think that stuff with Activision was still like just starting to come out, but we didn't know the full details yet. But same thing with Blizzard, man. They're a terrible company. If it wasn't for the fact that it was strictly them just publishing it, but it was a From Software game through and through, I probably wouldn't have touched it.
My man Jeff Kaplan knew exactly what he was doing. He got it there before shit hit the fan. As soon as that nigga left, all of a sudden they sat right there with those sexual allegations, boy. He did a good job. He left.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Yeah, I ain't part of this, and I ain't gonna be a part of it." Goddamn it, he left.
He said, "No, the community still like me. Peace."
Oh God, deuces.
It was
Weird ass.
just
Weird. I'm pretty sure that nigga said weird ass niggas. He just laughed.
oh, this is gonna be tricky as hell. I'm not gonna lie. Because when you like look at the games, like they kind of joint ventured here, they kind of hold things there. Well, for starters, I do want to I want to bring Oopsie Soft front facing forward.
Oops.
They have a lot of IPs I enjoyed. I was going through this list. I was just like, fuck. Beyond Good and Evil. I still think it's a very underrated game for the time period it came out in.
That's sad too. They completely said there's gonna be a sequel, and we haven't heard nothing.
Oh no, y'all got a sequel. It's called Tomb Raider. You seen those QuickTime events?
No.
He did that.
You
He
stop
did that, boy.
disrespect right now.
Hey y'all, I see on this podcast, bro. He did that.
You stop that disrespect right now. You stop that disrespect right now. I don't agree with most of Oopsie Soft's business practices. They also kind of started the big leech movement to where they said, "Hey, consumers give us money, and you kind of get mediocre annual releases here and here and there." Blase, blase, blah. Also, the Scott Pilgrim game, they published that. I'm glad they gave it back to us, but I'm still always gonna say fuck Oopsie Soft. Another company, Konami. You're up there on the shit list, as everyone knows.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about them. Yeah,
I haven't finished Silent Hill in my life. I always started. I get scared. I turn it off. But I enjoy that feeling. Also, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. I double checked. They had some hands in it. They published it.
and guess what they published? Metal Gear Survive.
We don't speak. We don't speak.
We don't speak on that.
Bro.
Man.
I'm surprised you haven't brought up Sega yet.
I was saving the best for last.
Sega do be ass.
Now, when it comes to Sega, they're the only company I know who competed with Nintendo, but they also kind of look the name. They definitely do what Nintendo don't. They always have found a way to kind of stab themselves in the foot every step of the way. There's many IPs I look at to where I just cheer in happiness. And Sega, they always take, like, I won't say I don't like how they move. They just don't move right. From Sonic. Let's just start from Sonic.
Hold on, I got you. Sega.
No, I don't know how they treat Bayonetta well. I can't. Bayonetta is in a sweet spot. I don't think they have too much heavy control on it. The Yakuza series is under Sega's publishing. But my biggest beef, because I'm such a Sonic fan, because it goes so hand in hand, I just don't like what Sega represents sometimes. But they got my boy over there. And they be doing my boy so dirty. They do my boy so goddamn dirty.
Wait, they own Streets of Rage?
Yes.
I know that.
I would have a runner up, but the more we already brought up EA, I'll leave EA the fuck alone.
Yeah, fuck them niggas. We all know they're scumbags of the earth. But 2K. You know what? Nah, let's not.
See, I see.
The sports side of 2K.
I don't want to say it's too easy, because if I do look at this 2K list, besides my NBA 2K, I don't even like consider the publishing side of 2K all the time. I know they have is it Borderlands?
No, that's Gearbox.
But isn't Gearbox under 2K?
Oh, you're right. I forgot they
like publishing wise.
Yeah, it's 2K.
That's why it's just like, I know XCOM is under them as well.
I haven't heard that name in forever. They made all my favorite PSP games.
And it's just like I have games I enjoy, like games I like fully. Oh fuck! I'm very indifferent on Square Enix. Mm, mm. I'm very indifferent on Square Enix. I'm not gonna
You want to
lie.
pull that pen?
You can pull it. I said I'm
Man,
indifferent.
look, I can't stand the Square Enix game. I put them up there. Capcom might change my mind about this later, but I put them up there with most MOBAs, Street Fighter, and Square Enix games, where it's just like I love everything about them on paper. Characters on point, iconic, beautiful design, unique, standoutish. World building, excellent. Everything is like multicultural, but it blends so well that it looks unique. It's very colorful,
Babylon's Fall.
Watch your mouth. We'll talk about that
I'm gonna
garbage.
just ignore that.
Good boy, you don't like that game.
Uh,
Good boy, you don't like that game, boy. Ooh,
that game is
big flip.
trash, boy. They're
Trash.
platinum games. Anyway,
Hey,
continue. I'm sorry.
hey,
The
hey,
lore,
hey, hey.
is very unique and interesting. But then I get to the games. But then I turn on that game. I press start, and I get into a match where I start pressing buttons. I'm just like, this feels so bad to play. I think what really killed it for me was Square Enix, because I barely got through Final Fantasy X. Right? I don't think it was my first Final Fantasy that goes to the Cydia. I was like, oh, this is cool. I should probably see where these characters are from. Started off with 10, and I wasn't having the most fun. I was just going through the whole thing from start to finish with no real side questing or anything. I felt like some things were way more challenging than they needed to be at that point. Somebody was even making fun of me. He's like, "Why is your character so low level?" I was like, "What are you talking about? I got to this point. I can't be low level, or else I wouldn't be able to get this far." So I went to that final boss. He kept one touching me on everything. I said, "Oh, they want this to be a second job." So if I didn't find those, what are they called, the Magnus Sisters, I would not have beaten that game. So I was like, you know what? If I have to cheese the game, if I had to work a little bit harder just to cheese the game to finally get the ending, I can live with that. Yo, let me tell you what happened in Nier Automata. No,
No, it's your fault. Go play it again. It's a good game. Go play it again. It's a
I'm
good
gonna talk
game.
my stuff. I'm gonna talk my stuff. So how
Go
there's
ahead.
multiple
When you Jay
okay,
gonna
so
judge,
here's the
you
thing,
gonna
right?
judge him. That's all I'm saying.
I'm come from when I like my games, I like my games to be challenging. I like them to be fair, right? And so for the most part, when someone has a difficulty level, I go for hard. Like I talked about earlier, God of War, I played it hard. It was difficult, but I stuck it through all the way through. Because once I get used to a difficulty level, I just can't go down a level. That's not how I play. So when I saw Nier Automata, I was like, normal? Nah, I can never do normal. That's always way too easy. Square Enix does not know how to level things when it comes to their difficulty levels. I don't know what normal looks like, but there's hard right above that, and then there's one touch everything right above that. And I think they got those two backwards because everything basically one touches you on hard still. And what I didn't realize is if you die in the intro, you got to replay the whole thing over again, cutscene and all, from start to finish, every time until you get through that first boss. And so I was struggling. I know people can abuse that dodge system, but it's not as abusable as people make it seem, man. I was getting hit out of some stuff. But I finally got through that boss fight, right? I was like, finally did it on hard, whatever. Now I can just experience the rest of the game. Hopefully it's smooth sailing from here. Don't you know by the time I touched down from that rooftop scene, when you first get into like the open world area, I ran into a moose and I saw somebody ride one earlier. I was like, oh, cool, a moose. I'm gonna go see if I have any food because I think I saw him drop some food before they rode it. So I was looking through my menus, and that thing put his horns down and one-shot me. I said, I'm done. Ain't no way. I'm a 300 ton. I'm sorry, 300.
It was first R2.
I was in the menu. Ain't no way. I'm a 300 pound, futuristic, battle ready android, over here taking on things 50 stories high in the air, way above sea level.
Damn right.
And I get one tap by a
Skippy.
moose. I said, no, I'm done. This difficulty makes no
You got
sense.
chin checked. You got chin checked. You know what I'm saying? It caught you slacking. Put your pants down. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, bro. That game's worth it. It's worth it.
I have no doubt about that. But when it comes to gameplay, like I said, I like a challenge. I don't like things to be easy. But man, there's just no in between because it's like the way they scale their games is absurd. I know some people could get through it. I don't know how, but for a first time player who just wants to be more than challenged than as far as what normal has to offer, it's just like you get punished so hard for no reason. Things do way more damage. Things scale way too high. You get one or two tapped by things that have no business touching you like that, and it's just like, is this going to be the experience throughout the entire game? And I can't stand it. I like like I said, challenging but fair. Example, Borderlands 2 and God of War. In both of those games, right, they are RPGs. You have things you're going to experience early on that are way above your level. But, if you're familiar with the game, if you're familiar with the systems, and you know the combat well enough, you should be able to get through those experiences through just, good play and, good movement, all that stuff, as well as, some basic knowledge of equipment. I played through Borderlands 2 so much that if I do a new run and I run into a high level area early on, I don't care. I can get through no problem. God of War, I just toughed it out and just dodged, right? Near Automata, when I eventually got the dodging down and a simple creature with no level above his head can one-shot me, I'm just thinking of all the BS I'm going to run into down the line. I just can't see myself getting through it.
But if you can acknowledge dodging in other games, you just apply it here. I'm telling you, the game actually levels out. I'm telling you.
Kyle, you didn't hear that part. A non-level creature character that gave me no indication that it was even aggravated. One shot a 300-pound futuristic battle-ready android of the future.
Hey, man.
When I'm over here fighting 50-foot story above sea level giant, like, no, I can't. That broke my immersion so hard.
All it said was natural animals are still better, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's all he was saying, bro. Like, get your robotic ass off my screen, dog. And he was chilling. You try to ride that nigga forcefully.
Dude, I was
on your ass. That's what he did. That's what he did.
I was searching through my menu for food to drop for the dude, and that man said, "Oh, run your pockets for real."
He said, "Fuck your food, nigga." Yes, sir. The game definitely levels out later on. I think you should give it.
Man, look, if I get to it, I'll get to it. I still need to get to Valkyria Chronicles.
Fuck that. Play better story.
Don't say it. No, that's actually.
The Year's also a good game.
I don't hear you talking about the original.
Because Automata is the way to go.
And
the lore wise in the first game, after all the research I did, I was like, if I play this game, I gotta commit to another 60-hour adventure. But no, I think the Year Automata is worth another go.
I got one shot by moves. That's all I'm gonna say. I rest my point. That's like, dude, you understand? That's the equivalent of playing Horizon Zero Dawn and getting one shot by a fox you didn't know could attack you. That's how it feels.
I guess I don't. Before we move on from this topic, I'm gonna bring up two more developers. CyberConnect 2 and Spike Chunsoft, the niggas who mainly do like all the arena brawlish or like anime games. Take their license away. Give it to somebody else. CyberConnect 2 only I like it. I saw a Sarah's Wrath here. Like, oh, they got some hands on that shit. That's crazy. Everything else though, nothing but anime games. Take it away. Give it to somebody else. Y'all are still repetitive. I know y'all are bored. Cash grabbing everyone. Give it to somebody else. I'm tired of y'all. You two specifically, Chunsoft and CyberConnect 2. Look, tired. Move on. Please.
LOL. Anyway.
Had to clear my throat. It's supposed to I disagree about that powerful boost. Look, I gotta let bygones be bygones. But since we are gonna leave everything off on difficulty as my last terrible segue for the day, I do have one main question to ask. Mm-hmm. With the impact and release of Elden Ring as it changed the lives of casuals, hardcores, dedicated hated developers, and just kind of the gaming industry in general. The biggest question is kind of, do y'all think Elden Ring is going to change the direction of open world games now, or do y'all think everyone's going to kind of stay to their formula still? Personally, I feel like as much change as it did, other developers kind of already started doing that in small ways. It wasn't kind of the base experience, but I'm gonna leave it there because I know anime has a lot more better perspective on this. Because if I start talking on it, it's gonna be a thing. I'm gonna let you go ahead, Adam. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead.
First off, people, the level of detail, balancing, world building, and consideration that went into Elden Ring is not going to be matched anytime soon, right? Like the closest thing people can even compare it to is Breath of the Wild, because of course everyone compares any open world game to Breath of the Wild now. Most open world games have taken elements of Breath of the Wild, from climbing, stamina for just about every interaction with the world, to gliding. That's been the most predominant things that has moved on from that game into the mainstream output of games. Elden Ring didn't go those routes. It stood firm in its foundation of FromSoft formulas while expanding the experience to, hey, we know you like builds. We know you like having moves and be able to find things and farm for equipment and stuff like that. We know you like doing all these things to make your character really your own. Do that, but also make it a requirement to get through the core experience. So it's not like you can, well, some people made it work, but even people who speedrun the game or are very comfortable with the game will still go and cherry pick items before going through certain encounters. It's one of those things where it forces you to explore the world in a very natural way. Assuming people got the point and didn't rage quit and say that game sucked because they couldn't get to the first NPC they hit. But when the game naturally, through the gameplay of the first boss encounter, being Margaret Fell, tells you to, hey, you're not ready for this, go see what else is out there. And you become more naturally curious, and you're constantly being rewarded for that exploration, and you're being given more tools to work with, to the point to where you come back after gathering enough stuff and finding your play style and items that work for your build, to where you basically are just smacking around the bosses until you start hitting that next brick wall. Is such a great feeling, and it happens so naturally that you didn't even need anyone to tell you. The game just does it for you while still keeping you on track to the main goal. That kind of thing is not easy to pull off and still be interesting. Like, you can kind of artificially fake it if you try, but to still make it interesting and natural to want to do, as well as apply that philosophy as if I'm in some random area on the map, I can look around and find these points of interest of where to go next. And that applies, again, since it's on every point of the map. Even if I get done with one area, I have like 3 to 7 more areas to go to explore. That's not something that even Breath of the Wild did, because most of the things Breath of the Wild did was tower related, and the open world was pretty, in my humble opinion, was pretty vast but empty. If it wasn't towers or dungeons that you found, there wasn't a whole lot of towns and villages. Like, there were some big set pieces and things you're supposed to find, but as far as like running into things and experiencing something different, the enemy variety was pretty much the same. The encounters felt very similar. Same enemy, different coat of paint. But
You can make the argument as well in Elden Ring. Like, this is at that halfway mark.
I mean, that's
You can make
you could make that argument. That's how most games do feel. Once you get towards the halfway mark, is that you've pretty much seen and done everything. You're just finishing it through. I will give you that. But remember the early parts of the game when you're first going through it and you're just exploring, and automatically, boom, you're finding out that there's a dragon, that this cult of dragon worshippers, and then suddenly it flies down, kills all of them. You're in this boss fight you're not ready for. You're suddenly getting invaded by somebody who could throw blood daggers at you and you're bleeding. You run into patches not too far down the line. You open a chest.
Fuck patches.
Everybody says that. You open a chest.
I killed
You
that
open a
nigga.
chest and it teleports you to some random area on the map you were not even prepared to be in. You run into NPCs that give you items that you can completely miss, like such as Ronnie on your first playthrough. There's so many. It's the little things, right? Like, it's not like not some big set piece or some big moments in it. It's the little things, the little experiences, the little, hey, what's that up the corner of my eye? You hit a guy, only find out he's a berserker, and he just transforms to this giant bear you weren't prepared to fight. It's those moments that stand out of my memory, from my experience of Elden Ring. Like I said, once you hit enough of those, yeah, the game might feel a little stale, but when you're first into it and everything's new and you don't know what's going to happen and anything can happen, I remember when I first ran into the rotted forest because I got teleported over there. I was not prepared. When I saw how much health I was losing just from touching the dirty water, dude, I was freaking out, man. Only to find out I ran into a boss who could summon like 12 enemies to fight for him. Like it was, they just took off the gloves as far as design and said, hey, we have all these things. We don't care about balancing. You can't just roll through everything like in every other FromSoft game. Figure it out. Like some things just didn't work, didn't have answerables, right? Some things you just had to experiment and try and find what works, for you. And like I said, it's all those elements combined in that game that is not going to be easily replicated or replicated at all outside of From Software. The thing that I think stands out in my memory the most with Breath of the Wild was the world interaction. The physics. Chop down a tree, it falls, it becomes a bridge for a cliff. You push down a boulder, it runs downhill, kills some enemies. You strike an exploding barrel, light it on fire, throw it down, it explodes. You could just set things up through just the world physics alone. If it's raining and you're trying to climb, it becomes slippery and you lose stamina faster. Those are the things that stick out of my mind that I would have liked to see carry over to other open world games. Whereas From Software, it was just the little experiences and the unknown factor going forward. And all the secrets and stuff that you missed that you didn't even know were in the game until after you watched the videos of other people playing and talking about it. That's the level of detail and lack of care for you missing something that makes those games so enjoyable and replayable. Now, open world games, the future, like I said, most people stick with their formula and just cherry pick some features to latch on to that they think people are going to like because it was popular in that game people are talking about. Like I said, it was gliding and stamina-based physics interaction, like swimming and climbing for Breath of the Wild. And From Software games, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be random items scattered throughout the area that you got to find to make a build. I think that's the most you're going to take away from that, and that's not even wholly unique, because in most games, thinking about Fallout and stuff like that.
Yeah, ooh,
Yeah.
I mean, cutting
No,
it out.
I had
Not
to.
the
I had to. But thinking about games like Fallout and stuff like that, it's like you could find things in the world, but they weren't necessarily like make or break for your build, right? It'd be like a level 70 required weapon or something that's like it rewards you for your build. But it's not like something where it's just like, oh, I could combine bleed and frost and jump over this and summon these guys to hold them down for me. Like it was just a lot of freedom of expression and character creation that no other game I think lets you go into that much depth, with the exception of like online MMOs. I think that's like the only level of game that I'm not too familiar with that gives you that level of freedom with creativity and item, that just makes or break your character. So I don't know where open worlds are going to go. Like I said, I think for the most part they're going to be the same, and that they're going to try to take these elements but not know what to do with them, to that level.
What about you, Shinron? What you think? What you think these devs are gonna do with their stuff?
From a nigga who got platinum in Elden Ring.
Here he go dropping the beat.
Let me pull up those stats real quick. I don't believe that.
Here he goes. Where's the Sony app? Check the car facts.
Actually, you got a 97%. That doesn't count, sir.
That's crazy, Dickie. That's crazy, Dickie.
Crazy. Anyway. All jokes aside, Elden Ring was the biggest part of this year, and it was like the biggest game that came out wild. Like seeing people who never even touched Dark Souls touch Elden Ring, seeing people like who have been like longtime fans of the Soul series coming back to Elden Ring and enjoying it just like the rest of the casuals and all that. It was very, very, very heartwarming seeing everybody enjoying how the game is, how the game works, how beautiful it is, how complex it is, how simple it is at times. It was really beautiful to watch, and I think it will change some aspects in open worlds, but I don't think it. I think like that man zombie. Oh my god, anime said it's going to be its own game. There's games out there that's going to be its own games, and there's going to be some games out there that's going to like take direct inspiration from Elden Ring. But I don't think there will be like anything that'll like change like open world games and how they are going to be made. But nonetheless, they did do a good job at paving their own way and making their own type of game while still keeping that Soulsborne game mentality intact. The world is beautiful, literally, as all Soulsborne games are. Almost everything is trying to kill you in this fucking place. You have no type of breathing room. You don't know what's gonna be around the corner, what's gonna be in that chest. I'm thankful for God they didn't add no mimics, because that would be. I hated mimics in Soulsborne games, but the teleportation stuff, that's what killed me. But other than that, I think they paved the way in telling like other game developers and inspired game developers who wants to make open world games or whatever kind of game they have, and making their own story driven work of art and go by how they view their story instead of just, basing it off something else. Because we all know Elden Ring is not based off any other game. That game is is literally its own game, and it kind of sucks. It's not a Souls game, but it's from Software, so you already know. Everybody saw Bloodborne, it was like, oh, look at this, it's from Software. Yeah, it's gonna be fire. And look how that happened, and look what they did with they did with Bloodborne, Sekiro, and fucking and Elden Ring. They kept the whole Dark Souls aesthetic on Elden Ring, and yet made it still seem like a fresh new game that we haven't even touched before. That jumping mechanic is amazing, by the way. Going back to Dark Souls 3, and I was like sitting right there like pressing X, and I'm just sitting there like doing the wrong things. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not playing Elden Ring anymore. But how they just changed, like how they made like new IPs and how they like branched off from the Souls games. It is actually amazing, and seeing them doing that again, and then this time like keeping some of the basic aesthetic of Soulsborne's game into Elden Ring, and yet it still feels like it's new, beautifully handcrafted game. It's amazing, and I want to see more of that. Also, they've made a finished product. That's the number one thing about it. They made a finished product, and literally, like almost every other game has like DLC where it continues with the story and all that.
They're not gonna learn that. You hilarious,
bro. They made a finished product, and that's what everybody loved about Elden.
At a base price.
At a base motherfucking price, and they made like 10 times the money they made for that game.
The developers were
like,
hating.
Oh God, they said we tried our best. We put DLC and expand our world. You gotta pay like $10.99. Like nah, nigga. We got RPG elements too. It's just that you gotta buy like the rest of them for like $5.99 each. It's like nah, bro. They sat right there and gave you the full plate. No size for an extra price. They said, "Hey, you want this? Here you go. What's in it?" That's it, and that's what everybody loved about Elden Ring. They didn't just go out their way. Same thing for all they did everything for all the rest of the other games. They just added just some DLC, just like I don't know, keep the players there for the time being, or just like I don't know what they did to keep the story going. Well, scratch that. It was actually connected to the story. It's actually some of the DLC was actually connected to the story, and they like progressed the story as well. But they made it different. They didn't make it like you can like buy something to change this, and that, and the third. They said, hey, here you go. You get everything in this DLC for like $10.99 or $9.99. You get what you got in the base game for a lower price. You get everything what you're not even asked for. You get everything that they want you. They gave you that they know you wanted for that price. They did the exact same thing for DLCs, and DLCs are like a couple hours depending on how hard the bosses are. Like fucking Bloodborne, for example. That shit, I hate I hate Cause. Orphan of Cause. Fuck him.
Beat the game. Fuck with y'all niggas talking about.
Placenta, bro. Placenta Blade. Placenta Blade. What is that? But yeah, man, they sat right there and had a whole new game, added some brand new aspects to the game, brand new environment, brand new storytelling. Even though sometimes you can't fucking tell what the hell they're talking about. But other than that, the game's forever. Elden Ring did it best. They did it best. They sat right there and said, "Hey, no DLCs. We're going this shit. We're gonna serve the food. We're gonna let the streets eat." That's what they said. We're gonna let the streets eat. And goddamn it, they gave us a full course meal. I ate that shit like 3-4 times.
And the maidens
That shit was amazing.
and the maidens list memes.
Oh God, they gave us maidenless memes. They gave us memes in general. I'm pretty sure they just do that just to joke around and shit. I'm not gonna lie. It's like how the hell you do that to joke around, but at the same time keep it in the base story. I love their storytelling so much. But other than that, man, they did what every other developer forgot to do. It's just give us a finished product. Finished product never hurt anybody. Finished product never doomed the
I
world.
got something to say about that.
Oh, fuck you.
It's not negative. It's just if people forgot about Ghost of Tsushima completely. Like that game came out
Who?
really
Right.
well.
Who?
Yo, we're talking about Elden Ring, nigga. No.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
it. That's you know you're gonna bring up Horizon Forbidden
It is
West.
what it is.
Who?
No,
Oof, oof.
did you finish Ghost of Tsushima?
Who?
Like,
I
have
never
you-
finished it. I never finished it.
I'm not even gonna. Yo, Click. How you feel about the impact?
Hey man, I ain't done.
Oh, my bad, Jay. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Anyway, shout out to Elden Ring. 10 out of 10. Can't wait for that DLC. It's apparently gonna be about the God Apostles. Can't wait for God of Foreskins actually.
The foreskins, yes sir.
Foreskin duo. We got now about to be eating good as soon as that DLC come out. So you already know the vibes got now. And I heard that they was actually overworked at the From Software company. I don't know if it's true, and it's kind of hurts at the same time. But at the same time, they put in their heart and their soul into it, and they got back what they exactly put back into. They got back what they put into the game, and all I can say is, hey, rest easy now. I hope y'all take a long ass rest because y'all deserved it. And I'm sorry that y'all was working through harsh environment and probably not a harsh team. I'm pretty sure y'all was just very communicative because you got a very well placed and well paced game. So yeah, I thank y'all. Love y'all for that again. Thank you for making me glad to be a Soulsborne fan day in day out. Anyway, I'm done.
So, Click. How do you think other developers will approach their open world games now?
Well, I kind of hope that they'll keep doing what they're doing. Yeah, because kind of like how Jay said, this was a game that had people that weren't even like into games like this and shit like that, who's never even looked at Dark Souls and stuff like that, such as myself. Actually actually interested in playing the game. I honestly didn't think I was gonna like Elden Ring, even after hearing all y'all talk about it and shit like that. But when I started playing, I was like, yo, like, I've been missing out on a lot. Like, this is actually a phenomenal ass fucking game. I cannot get enough of it.
Oh man, here I go being Debbie Downer now.
Oof, no, not Calvin.
I love that motherfucking game. Niggas know I only played Bloodborne as my first Souls game. I beat Orphan of Cause and said, "Oh yeah, I'm locked in forever." So definitely, when the game came out, I booted that shit up, and first 60 hours, I was just saying, "Yes, this is open world games." But they somehow fell into the trap every other developer does. You hit that third phase and the game just becomes kind of the tedious hit the goal, get the fuck out of here type deal. There's still great replay value in it. Definitely don't get me wrong on that, but that's why I hate finishing a lot of open world games, because you get to that last act and it becomes a what's left. I guess I wrap this up. Here's the same boss I saw 20 hours ago, reskinned with a duo fight yet again. Um, just a lot of just small gripes you kind of, well, I'm not saying you guys kind of, that I developed over time, especially coming from the side of, like I said, I'm bringing up Ghost. That game came out pretty good. There wasn't too many complaints beside it being in the console exclusive. Ran well. It was very minimalistic. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the combat. It does. If you do play medium to hard, you do get a lot more tools that kind of just makes you overpowered over time. That's what makes it really hard to kind of bring it up compared to Elden Ring, because it's like always a balance with that. But definitely with Ghost, it did a lot of the things well. You can interact with the world. You can explore. You can make goddamn haikus for shit. It's still like the most small details. Like if you care about it, it's there. It did a lot well, but it just kind of it came and went because it just was like, oh, okay, another open world game. All right, cool.
Sadly.
And it's so weird to me because everything that Elden Ring is praised for, Ghost is kind of like down upon, and I'm just like,
Ghost had his time. It really did.
I
It
don't
had its time.
think developers are gonna learn from this though. Besides like not making money, like it made money. It
Or-
did what it had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, go
It,
ahead.
it did what it did.
Yeah,
But
sir, it did.
when you look at Oopsie Soft, you look at Square, who else is a big? Oh, you look at EA when you want to talk about those guys. I feel like that the mostly what they might take. Oh, Bethesda. Did I forget about Bethesda open world games too? Because their RPGs are handled differently as well. But how they fucked up Fallout, I don't want to talk about it because I'm gonna get mad again. But yeah, when you just, I don't think developers are gonna learn. They're gonna take like the best aspects, but they're still gonna like fail on balancing. That's always gonna be a problem regardless. But I can just tell that when it comes to exploring the world, they're gonna always cap it off. I didn't like how quest lines were set up in Elden Ring. I feel like other studios have done it better while making it, while they're not gonna hold your hand like, hey, just go do this. Like other people have done that better in my eyes. That's also something I've had to grab with all the Souls games. I don't like just having to pull up a wiki like 3 hours later because I'm just like, I don't know where to go next. I will never like that. So it's always gonna be small things back and forth. Match. I'm like, yeah, people can learn on just having really good engaging boss battles that don't make me just feel like I'm sleeping half the time. It's gonna be 50-50. Like they're always gonna take the good and the bad, but how they were kind of disrespecting the game off launch, I don't think they are. I think they're gonna stay stubborn, and they're just gonna keep learning the hard way. Eventually, I think people only listen to Nintendo. Honestly, it's gonna take Breath of the Wild 2 for them to care. Quite literally, and I still feel like that's gonna be more of the same with the first game at 30 frames. Ugh, Jesus
60 on
Christ.
PC once they
I'm
actually crack it.
I'm just burnt out on a lot of open world games regardless, because they always start off well, then you hit that third act and you just realize, oh god, this is a fucking video game. I look at Cyberpunk, which I know no one else is gonna sit here and grill me on, but you have to like forcefully turn shit off to kind of get a good experience, like taking off the HUD, taking off the quest trackers, just going and just kind of walking around really minimal, like just your health bar on screen. And it is a different experience, but because games are really kind of made around go here, do this, I really hope that developers, when they have open world games, that your exploration isn't hindered. That's what's my biggest thing. I don't want to be forced to go somewhere. Like, hey, if I can go there, if I see it in the distance, let me go there now. But that falls onto balancing and how they're gonna fix that, because scaling is gonna be always weird. But Elden Ring definitely made me happy to where, oh fuck, I got beat up here. Make a quick left. Oh shit, I'm in quite literal hell. I'm gonna make a U-turn and go somewhere fucking else. Always gonna appreciate it for that. But I don't think devs are gonna learn. These niggas are stubborn. Publishers are stubborn. They're gonna want money over anything. So as happy as I'm for Elden Ring success, I think we're gonna get more of the same. The further along we go. Fuck oopsies off.
Fuck oops.
On that note, do y'all have anything else y'all want to bring up before we get the fuck out of here?
Cyber Connect 2. Quit playing on me. Let a nigga eat.
Gotta talk to Capcom on that one, bro. That is not Cyber Connect. They're making the next Naruto game. Fuck you talking about, nigga. They ain't doing shit.
Where the DNF Duel came out and was announced, but there is still no announcement for DLC yet.
Or DNF?
Yeah, like every other game has came out with either day one DLC, announced planned DLC, first character for the DLC revealed. There is nothing on DNF Duel right now for that.
Give it a few months. Give it a few months. Guys, I looked it up too. There's like no season pass talks, none of that. It just kind of came out. Wait, Nexon. Keep your eyes out. There might be something. There might be something. Oh shit. Also, to kind of go back, complete games off launch. It's a must now.
What?
Complete games on launch.
Complete games on launch?
Like,
Oh, that was
day
always
one
the
patches.
standard, man.
Oh no.
All right, my
Let me
bad.
get some
That
water.
was always the expectation.
Because I'm dying.
I got nothing. That's all from me. But yeah, I think that's one of the things that they'll pushed as in they actually took well, I would like to say that Ghost of Tsushima and Elden Ring did a good job at showing finished products.
Oh shit! All right.
So
I feel like the only problem was like the PC player base because it was bad. I got to play it for a little bit on PC, and yeah, nah, that first like week was rough. But they, of course, patched it out. I hate to like always harp on like the day like week one shit, but you always gotta bring it up. Like, hey, it was bad at this time. But yeah, just having a full experience is always important. Like Nintendo always does it right because that's just what the fuck they do. But everyone else, my God. Looking at you, CDPR.
Hold on.
Looking
Now
at you,
I have to
Bethesda.
put my foot down on this one. You got to start getting Capcom more credit nowadays.
I don't
What?
buy Capcom games day one.
I understand.
I don't know about
I understand, but they do release finished products now.
Cause Resident Evil, Monster Hunter. Yeah, you're right.
As well as Devil May Cry.
Yeah, I did enjoy Devil May Cry 5.
Capcom,
Vertical combos do be fun.
You get the gold noodle Capcom. It's always an expectation, but a lot of times you always get those game breaking bugs. Those awful frame rates. The crazy facial animations. There's so many things. So it's like, yeah, no, it just feel good to pay $59.99 for a game to work well. Offer it. Please take notes, everyone else, because y'all be on bullshit.
No,
Or drop these mandatory updates on us while we're downloading the base game.
no cap.
But that's definitely enough on that. I think I did have one announcement. Make sure I have my cards in check before I say this out loud. Yeah, Hypercharge Unboxed.
There we go.
Hey, I'm not this came out 2 years ago, which is crazy to think about. Y'all go ahead and check that out. It gave me Toy Story vibes, but better. Or actually, what was this game on Dreamcast? I think this is a game on Dreamcast. I think so. A Toy Commander gives me vibes of that as well.
It's already out.
Yeah, it's already out. I've been off like 2 years, bro.
Yeah, it's $15.99.
That's crazy.
That's what I said too. I was like, oh wow.
Oh god, that's what I thought too. That was maybe make everybody make it seem like, but apparently it's already out.
They're still doing hot fixes and achievement fixes and all that. They're doing good things. There's a complete edition. I'm probably gonna pick that up tonight. Not gonna lie.
I'll tell you what reminded me of.
Yeah, nah.
Reminded me of Small Soldiers. Anyone remember that movie?
Honestly, that's what it reminded me too.
That too, indeed.
They got a couple of anime references in there too. I peeped that.
So every I get the chance, I got some extra change on Steam. Pick that thing up. We support developers over here if they're doing good. If they're not, I'm gonna say fuck them niggas.
No kizzy, no kizzy.
Gunfire, you next. We're gonna get you.
Has Gunfire come to consoles yet?
Yes. Oh, one second. Let me
Has
see.
it?
Hold on, I'm checking. I know it got announced for consoles, and it passed their 1.0 release.
I'm still gonna. I'm on the fence. I'm probably gonna buy it again because I love.
I'm keeping it on PC. I ain't gonna hold
Me
y'all.
too.
I'm gonna buy it again. Just
But I buy games I really like from indie developers. I buy on just about every console. I can't tell you how many times I bought Risk of Rain on something.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting Risk of Rain on PC, but I was like, I want to keep it here. But at the same time, I want to get that new expansion for it. That new expansion look delicious.
delicious.
Look, nigga, like nigga gonna eat.
You know, you said delicious. I thought about Cuphead. Oh man,
I forgot about Cuphead's DLC. I literally completely forgot about
talk about that on a different date.
Alright.
If I got nothing else to say, I don't have any new news right now besides the skate leak that came out a few days ago. New little trailer. Let me stop talking. Hope you have a great time. Thank y'all for kicking it with us. You know, say
Yes, sir.
please. I'm gonna say y'all say fly. Oh my god, shut the fuck up. Y'all have a good night, man.
Happy I, 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 I,